Story 1. It's a different kind of pain. I've broken bones, been cut open, been in car accidents, and nothing compares to the terrible sensation of getting hit in the testicles. Then there's also the added effect that you can feel it in your stomach like the worst stomach ache in the world. Story 2. Not every woman has given birth. Every man has been hit in the balls. There is a universally shared experience that breeds empathy. Also, no man in history would get hit in the balls and recommend it to anyone else. Story 3. Healthy testicles are essential to the continuation of the human race. The strong instinct to protect them and the pain when they get hurt reflect their importance. Story 4. I had an ex-girlfriend who thought it was hilarious how I acted when she tried to slap me in the balls. I don't think women realize how much it hurts. It's not just in the testicles either. The pain climbs up into your lower guts and then feels like it expands as if someone pumped hot lead into your lower bowels. Story 5. In high school, all of my friends, probably 14 or so of us, played a game called tap. The rules were simple. Hit the other guys in the groin while passing in the hallway without getting caught by the person hit or a teacher. This went on for 3 years. It was all fun and games until, on senior prank day, someone drop-kicked another player in the groin, and we all got called to the auditorium for a meeting about this and the bullying that took place. Why? No reason. Literally no reason at all. Men value our family jewels but simultaneously do extremely dumb things with them. Story 6. Woman. Nothing is more painful than giving birth. Man. Nothing is more painful than a kick in the balls. Do you want another child? Woman, hell yeah. Do you want another kick in the balls? Man, get out of here. Story 7. They know the feeling. It's kind of like when a smell reminds you of a memory, except in this case it's seeing someone's balls get obliterated and being reminded of the pain. Story 8. It's just a sympathetic reaction. I found myself doing the same when someone nearby has stubbed their toe really badly or hit their funny bone really hard. Story 9. I've got this. I actually did my senior symposium on this in college. Brain and cognitive science major. It's called Other-Oriented Autoaversive Response. Think about the guy who crushed his arm in a boulder, 127 hours. Go watch that scene on YouTube. You will cringe. You feel a mental pain that mirrors a physical one. That's because you have mirror neurons that interpret and sort of mimic what you see others do in your own head. Think about biting a pencil. You sort of just bit a pencil. In autism, we often see underperforming or dysfunctional mirror neurons. So yeah, I mean, if you see a tiger maul your buddy, evolutionarily speaking, or you're a crow and your friend lands on an electric fence and gets fried, this helps you survive. It also helps you learn in general. In this case, you learn, do not get hit in the nuts. Story 10. I've had so many women try to explain to me that they know what getting hit in the balls feels like. You don't. You never will. There is no other sensation like it. Stop comparing it to the funny bone. They're not even remotely similar. Then they get so angry and say some nonsense about how childbirth is worse. Yeah, no kidding. But childbirth doesn't just randomly happen when you're not expecting it, like several hundred times in your life. Maybe it's because I'm gay they think all men are silly for making a big deal out of it, but you'll understand that I can relate. Now, just know. Story 11. Empathy used to be a normal thing before it was beaten out of us by modern society. This is one of the last few pains left on the planet that transcends that. Story 12. Even women who hate each other will give up a tampon or pad to a woman in need, simply because they have a shared hardship, a common struggle that builds an empathetic bond. Getting hit in the balls is the male version of that. Story 13. Ever throw a rock in a lake and watch it ripple the water and everything around it? It's like that, but the impact of the rock is the poor dude's rocks, and the ripples are the pain and energy he radiates. They say energy cannot be created or destroyed. It's the same here. Nut pain cannot be destroyed, only transferred and dispersed. Story 14. I can see you don't know how it feels. Perhaps for a woman, a kick in the groin hurts too. But our parts are external, not cushioned at all. Ow. Story 15. It's a specific kind of pain. It simultaneously makes you want to vomit and close up completely at the same time. The pain doesn't stop at the groin. It feels like you've been kicked in the stomach by a draft horse. and the entire body feels like it gets an electric shock at the same time. Depending on the impact, there can still be some pain for up to a week, in my experience at least. When you see someone else get hit like that and know they're feeling that pain, the empathy and probably some kind of sympathy or mirror pain arise. Story 16. I was dirt biking with my friend. I was behind him on my bike, and he braked suddenly, not on purpose. I braked hard, and my front tire hit his back tire. I flew crotch first into my handlebars. It's the worst hit below the belt I've had to date, along with getting hit by a soccer ball. So yeah, I felt this. Story 17, because it hurts a lot, just about every guy has experienced that pain, and there's a sympathetic response to seeing someone have to deal with it. It's probably one of the few things that transcends the normal apathy that people feel towards men's pain. Story 18. I think you can compare it to some other intense pain for a woman. Bad example, if you hear another woman talk about tearing during delivering a baby, I am sure that you would cringe in pain as well if you're even minimally empathetic, that is. Not saying those pains are similar at all, by the way. Story 19. Empathy. The capacity to understand or feel what another person is experiencing from within their frame of reference. That is, the capacity to place oneself in another's position. Story 20. Because it's insanely painful. I do not know what kind of concentration of nerve endings must exist there, but it's potent. I had a coworker who was struck in the groin and instantly projectile vomited, then passed out. Think about what kind of pain would cause the human body to go haywire like that. Story 21. One time, my older brother had his friend over. They were both about 15, so obviously, 7-year-old me wanted to show off and be cool. To set the scene, my brother and I shared a room and had bunk beds. The railing was a sort of hollow metal bar. Anyway, I was a very smart kid, so I started to balance across the bar, and you can imagine what happened next. I mean, it was like a cartoon. It was horrible. Then I proceeded to fall from the top bunk to the ground onto my back and winded myself, which acted as reinforcement for the shooting pains moving up to my stomach. I still get bullied about it by both of them to this day. Story 22. It feels like the worst diarrhea you have ever had, but in your balls. The pain shoots up the front of your belly, up your chest, and into your eyes. Finally, the pain slams down into your butt and you think you might actually defecate or vomit. Story 23. I haven't been hit in the balls for like 10 years, but I still distinctly remember how it feels. It's not the worst pain I've ever felt, but it's definitely the most unforgettable. You get winded, you get cramps, nausea, blunt pain. It's every form of pain all wrapped up together. It's the kind of thing you don't forget, and watching someone else get hit in the balls gives you phantom pain and sympathy for the poor guy. Story 24. Going a little meta here. I've seen a number of self-defense for women articles that suggest kicking a man in the groin if you're being attacked. Do not try this. Any man who's ever been kicked in the groin in the past, which is pretty much all of us at one time or another, knows on an instinctive level to protect themselves. They'll either twist to the side or get their hands in front to protect themselves. Your kick will almost certainly not land. Plus, now your foot and their hands are perfectly positioned for them to grab your foot and yank you off balance. I think you'd have a hard time finding any man who's been kicked in the groin more than once in their life. Story 25. Oh, it's just this tiny, insignificant evolutionary thing called empathy that every human who is not a complete psychopath has. And also mirror neurons. Yes. Story 26. Even though I have no balls, I flinched too. When I was around 8 years old, a boy was angry at me and kicked me between my legs. I tore my clitoris. That hurts. Ever since, I empathize when I see someone get kicked in the testicles. Story 27. Because we are big-brained great apes that have millions of years of evolution built into us, at some point we found that things like empathy and compassion were advantageous for the survival of not only our own genes but also the species as a whole. We've all been there, and it really hurts. Story 28. The human brain is capable of recreating pain that others are feeling by digging up memories from a similar experience. Not only are we imagining the pain, we are actually feeling the pain ourselves. One might think that this is a disadvantage, but having empathy to the degree that the human species does has given us a tremendous advantage with regard to working together to facilitate our survival, in comparison to other human species that roamed the earth up until around 50,000 years ago. Homo sapiens were not the strongest or smartest among them at all. Rather, we triumphed by being nice to each other in a world of hurt. Story 29. From a physiological perspective, a strike to one's testicles sends nerve signals up the spinal cord at about 265 miles per hour or 426 kilometers per hour. Right away, your testicles secrete a chemical signaling something is very wrong. The brain starts releasing endorphins to try and mask some of the pain. When our bodies produce too much of this, it causes our oxygen levels to drop and makes us feel nauseated. Some men will have their cervical synaptic ganglia triggered, resulting in uncontrollable tears, and the inner ear starts shifting fluids, making us dizzier than an alcoholic sailor on shore leave. While all this is happening, the brain is signaling back to the abdomen and groin that you're in pain. I've seen tough mixed martial artists take hits to the testicles, and the judges have to declare the fight a no contest because the fighter couldn't overcome the physical effects. In summary, our bodies shut down after that happens. Story 30. We've all been there, we all know how it feels, and it happens in stages. Stage 1 is just strictly ball pain. Stage 2 is pain in the sack plus the squeamish feeling in your stomach that makes you have to brace yourself before you double over. Stage 3 is a feeling of nausea and lightheadedness and possible vomiting. Any more pain past stage 3 and you're likely to pass out. The point is, we all say ouch before, no matter how tough any of us are, we all go through the same exact thing where our nuts are concerned. Story 31. Empathy. Most guys know just how painful it is, and in a way, we sort of relive it in our minds. Women cannot relate because it does not happen to them, just as men cannot relate to the pain of childbirth. I have heard women say they know what real pain is because they went through childbirth, as if that was the ultimate pain, but I have also heard them say they love having children. Men know the pain of being hit in the balls, and I have yet to hear one say he loved it and would like it again. Story 32. It's empathy, like if you watch someone break their arm and it makes you clench up and do that scrunched O face while breathing in. I remember a long time ago in school during a music history class, the teacher described the castrato and the Catholic Church's process for trying to produce them, and all the boys were really squirming. Story 33. Because the pain completely debilitates you. And every guy has had their testicles attacked, and they remember the pain. It's not like childbirth where they get a reward at the end. Men get pain and that's it. Story 34. We share the pain of the hit, so no single man goes into cardiac arrest from getting hit in the groin. It's kind of like how drinking milk spreads the heat of a hot pepper. Story 35. Every brother can collectively agree that it is probably the most painful thing we can physically experience. Punch to the face, we're good after a minute. A kick to the testicles, we're out the whole day, and the next day we wake up with testicular trauma, causing us to go to the emergency room and get a bilateral orchiopexy to save our testicles. Story 36. Think about watching someone give themselves a paper cut or slicing themselves with a knife or razor. That feeling where you sort of cringe at the thought is the same feeling men get when someone is hit in the testicles. Story 37. Maybe I have never been hit in the balls hard enough, but it has never hurt that much. Sure, it hurts, but never to the extent that I am doubled over in pain or anything. This is one experiment that I do not relish testing. Story 38. It's relatable. Like every person can empathize with everyone else about how embarrassing having a stain or a piece of hair on clothes is and not realizing until it's too late to change. Every guy can empathize with the pain of getting hit in the groin. Story 39. Got hit in the balls while playing soccer, and a buddy thought I was faking it for laughs until he got hit in the balls 5 minutes later by the soccer ball. We were both writhing in pain for more than 10 minutes. Story 40. For some reason, it hurts a lot. This weird chain effect nerve internal pain goes from my groin all the way to my abdomen and chest. I guess it feels like getting stabbed or something from the perineal area to the inside. Story 41. It's like post-traumatic stress disorder or like muscle memory. When we see it, it makes our balls tighten, and then they try to recede up into us. If you get hit in the balls hard enough, it can cause you to throw up, very common, disorient you, make you go temporarily blind, cause reproductive issues, cause mental instability in repeated abuse, among some others that I'm too tired to remember right now. Story 42. I seem to remember a study being done, comparing the pain of getting hit in the balls to the pain of childbirth, and it was decided that being kicked in the balls was more painful by an order of magnitude. Story 43. More than it really hurts, it's such a unique form of pain. The kind of pain that if you felt that type of pain and you didn't get hit in the groin, you would go to the emergency room. Story 44. Cock and ball torture, penis torture, or dick torture is a sexual activity involving the application of pain or constriction to the penis or testicles. This may involve directly painful activities such as genital piercing, wax play, genital spanking, squeezing, ball busting, genital flogging, urethral play, tickle torture, erotic electrostimulation, kneeing, or kicking. The recipient of such activities may receive direct physical pleasure via masochism, emotional pleasure through erotic humiliation, or the knowledge that the play is pleasing to a sadistic dominant. Many of these practices carry significant health risks.